Are we live yet? I think we are live now. Good morning. It is 10:01, and in my attempt to keep my commitment of doing a Facebook Live at 10 o'clock, here we are. And good morning. I have a lot of things going on here today. I've got some new hardware that I'm working with. I've got some new lighting that I'm working with. I have shifted my cameras around. I am recording a YouTube behind me instead of in front of me, which I usually do. So I'm doing a lot of different things. Oh, I didn't know that was going to go off. Does anybody know what that? Anybody know what that bird sound is? I thought so. It's a white-throated sparrow flying around. Every hour I have a different bird comes out and flies around. So this has been an absolute, the last couple weeks have been pretty crazy. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of that. My use of Facebook has really been challenged for the last couple of weeks. When I first started out, I'm a publisher and a producer, and I need to do what I have to do in the most efficient way. So I am always looking for the best, for me, the most efficient way to get the job done. And Facebook, to me, has been a very interesting platform from a what's going on point of view. Its technology is, for me, out of control. And there's an interesting dynamic going on in the marketplace right now. All of the large technology companies, they might have gotten all together because they're all laying off 10,000 people. I've only seen a number 10,000, so maybe we're all working together. Whatever. But Facebook having done so, it's very obvious to me at the time that it happened, and Facebook is losing money, and their market value is one half what it was a year ago. I saw things happening, and I need to know that on a consistent basis that things are going to happen the way I need them to happen. That's the technology side of things. On the content publishing side of things, it has been a place. Facebook has been a wonderful environment for me to reconnect with folks from my past very, very clearly. As a matter of fact, some of the folks go back to the first grade. One does. John, if you're watching this, hello. it's been a wonderful place, and uh, I love to post pictures of my grandchildren, in case you haven't figured that out already. And I get the people that comment about uh, the picture uh, are folks I haven't seen for 50, 60 years, some of them. And so it's fun to get back in touch that way with folks. So from that perspective, and that's really one of the things I'm sure, one of the strategies, or I'm not so sure, that the Zuck had when he started Facebook is just that social uh, connections, social media, social connections. Well, I did one posting, and lo and behold, in the comments section. And by the way, there must be nobody watching because I was hoping for folks to use the comment section, which I have never done. I've never used the comment section, never paid attention to it. But the way that I'm operating today, it might make more sense. But anyway, posted a picture of my grandchildren, and um, six households, six folks from six households from my one block in my neighborhood. One block, six responses came back commenting about the picture, and that's unbelievable that 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 kind of thing is happening, and something just started in the last couple of days. Back to my past, that um, uh, my the high school that I graduated from in Canton, Ohio, Canton Lehman High School. Uh, Somebody had a brilliant idea that our high school should have a Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame, and of course, I'm away. I haven't been in my hometown for it'll be 36 years. 36 years ago, right now, I moved away from Canton in January, um, and moved to Cincinnati 36 years ago. Uh, but and then start to flow the athletes, and of course, my high school uh, was the home to one of the greatest baseball players of all time, Thurman Munson, in case you are wondering who that might be. And so, of course, he came up on everybody's mind. And then I had my input to it because I was sports editor of my high school newspaper, and so I kind of had my hand on the sports, at least in 1967. Actually, all I knew how to write about that year was um, Greg Wilbur, and what a great football player Greg was, and he was. I don't know what he was. He was a great football player, and uh, lo and behold, and I wrote about him a lot. I had a column in addition to editing, and we ended up going to the same college. Uh, not by plan. I mean, we just ended up going to the same college. Well, of course, he came on I would assume he came on a football scholarship. I certainly didn't. I had to work my way through college. Uh, but I actually did some sports writing for the college newspaper. Um, my sophomore year in college, my best friend at the time was a sports editor. So he gave me a lot of great assignments. I actually traveled with the football team a couple of times and whatever. I also wrote about Greg in college. So, Greg, you owe me big time. uh, but Facebook has been a great place to share stories about our past, share what's going on. Uh, Grandparents like to show pictures of their grandchildren. It's a pretty popular thing to do on Facebook. And so I'm going to stay right in there and do it. But things are things are changing. I'm spending too much time doing things that are non-productive for me, and um, it's I've got to look at things differently. I got to reposition and reformat uh, how I do things. And there's some really bad things going on at Facebook, and somehow I was identified to be a technology target because there's a pattern. I can very clearly see a pattern. And that's a good one. Someone wrote a good algorithm to make happening what's happening. So well, it just so happens that it's been on the books for a couple weeks now that uh, on Sunday, I am going to see my granddaughters and their parents in Dallas, Texas. And I am going to spend the week, well, not quite a week. I'm going to step back from Facebook and reevaluate how I use it, and is it most effective for me in the things that need to get done. So things may get repositioned, and I actually I've tried to do this, and not too many folks have picked up on it or are doing it, but there is a web landing page called, well, the domain is davidfleopold.com. It's a web landing page I've had for a pretty long time, and it changes. When you look at it, it's my blog. It's a video blog. That's exactly what it is right now. I am going to work on redoing it to take it to the next level from where it is right now. Uh, if you happen to go there, there are two wonderful hour conversations probably that I had with uh, two folks that I've never met in person. I met them in cyberspace. One I met in cyberspace 15 years ago. One I met in cyberspace 10 years ago. And we stayed in touch, and I have produced a lot of videos with them. Um, they are uh, on that page, but it's going to be. I got to change the way what that web landing page does uh, to. Well, I guess one thing I'll do every day is I'll do a video. Just change the video every day. Anyways, I'm going to make better use of that. I don't know what's going to happen on Facebook. I've got to look at the situation and see if I do this, how much damage control am I going to have to do, and I'm going to spend next week and figure that out. The timing is good. It's all about timing. At a given moment in time, certain things happen to us. And some really, really crazy things have been happening to me. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to take this opportunity to to share with you where I am uh, in the intent of me doing a Saturday morning Facebook Live. My objective would be, of course, how can I best carry the theme that my theme is celebrate business. Uh, that everything is a spinoff from celebrating business because it's something that I've been doing for nearly all of my 73 years. Wow, it's been there for all those 72 years. I just don't remember all the early experiences, but I was born into a family that was doing business. And so I grew up with it. And then in a crazy thing, I ended up uh, buy the first and only publication that I have ever bought in my life was one that I bought from my mother that my father had bought 6 years earlier. And I was a senior in high school when he bought it. And I was fortunate enough to listen. He took me to the meetings where he was negotiating buying the publication. He took me, and so I had a real good learning experience when I was a senior in high school from that perspective. 6 years later, I bought the publication from my mother. Ended up actually, uh, I was 24 years. I hadn't reached my 25th birthday yet when all this was happening. I gave my mother. Well, I, I gave my mother $10,000 uh, for the publication because her father, my grandfather, heard me complain to my mother that I did not want to be her business partner anymore, but I still wanted to remain her son. And my grandfather said, "Well, if that's what you feel, then do this and get it done." So that's what happened. But things happen for a reason in life. There's a purpose to everything happening. And I guess it's your job and my job to figure out what that purpose might be. And uh, if it's a good one, keep on going. If it's a not so good one, then change. Get one that's good. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Uh, but going back to celebrating business on Saturday, there's another reason why it would have been a good idea to celebrate business on a Saturday morning at 10 o'clock because 13 years ago, I was live streaming Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock on a website called Stickham, Stickam.com. It was a very, very, very busy website, a lot of traffic, a lot of music, and just a lot of traffic going on that website. And uh, somehow the management, well, I know how, the management found out about what my subject matter was, entrepreneurship, small business, and made a deal with me that if I would come on every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, something that they could promote and talk about entrepreneurship and small business, they give me that spot. Not only would they give me the spot, but when people came to the site, landed on the home page, they would see a rotation. And I think there may be maybe about 10 of those. I don't even remember how long. And those were folks that were on the air at that time, were on inside broadcasting at that time. And so I had advantage to picking up folks that way. Well, it was not unusual for 5,000 folks sometime in the hour. Uh, Click in, whatever. There was too much going on, so I couldn't figure out what was happening. But it's happening. I was too busy presenting, doing the content, and uh, I couldn't be concerned about watching anything else. maybe one of the downsides of being a solopreneur, doing it by yourself. Only one time in my life did I ever have a staff of folks doing. We published a magazine. We started a magazine uh, 4 years after I bought uh, the first publication. Uh, I found another $10,000 and went to a bank, and the banker, in 24 hours, on a 5 typewritten pages with an original typewriter, 5 typewritten pages, 1 hour meeting. He called me up the next day and said, "Come down and I'll, I'll give you a check for $10,000." So his $10,000, my $10,000. I started a magazine, and we had 15 folks on the payroll. I was the only one in the company that was not on the payroll, and we did a wonderful job. And we actually uh, showed a profit on our 11th magazine. I remember it well. It was like a double edition. So at least we knew what it would take. We made a profit on the very last edition I published. We made a profit. I made a horrible business decision, made the worst decision that impacted my personal life and business life uh, that year, and went into a very dark period of my life, but emerged from the darkness. So I thought about what could we do, and it seems that the demographic of my friends has changed dramatically. The age is much younger, and so I said, well, how? Other than a crazy reason why some of that traffic is there, please go away. Uh, I thought that it might be interesting that if there is anybody between the ages of 30 and 40, 10 years between 30 and 40, that have a reason to celebrate business, whatever that reason might be. We'll have a video chat, you and I, to determine if it's something that we'll do. But we'll have that as a. I'll figure out how to do that as a conversation. Um, I may have to talk to you over here in another technology with Facebook behind me. I don't know if we go ahead. If I don't know what's going to happen as I assess my position from what efficiencies Facebook has provided me as a publisher and producer. So I guess stay tuned. Well, not guess, stay tuned for the end of that discussion. So once again, if you're between the ages of 30 and 40 and you have a reason to celebrate business, if you would like to share that reason in a broadcast situation, we'll figure out how the technology is going to work. Go to celebratebusiness.tv, celebratebusiness.tv, and at the very bottom of the page, there is a form to video chat with me. Fill out the form. It's your name, your email address, and why do you want to have a video chat? very simple form. I'm the only one that reads it. From the time that I read it, I promise a response within 15 minutes. From the time that I read it, I promise a response within 15 minutes. It's it's a more efficient way uh, to get things done. Is just to do it that way. I've always said that, and that's kind of been my attitude about YouTube. I have produced in the neighborhood of 2,500 hours of YouTube content on entrepreneurship and small business, and it's taken me 15 years to do that. I think I first went on YouTube 15 years ago, but I have never promoted my YouTube channel, so it's been the most disorganized thing that I've ever seen. I actually, when I go to I still use my YouTube channel, but traffic that goes there, they're finding their way there. I'm not trying to get them there. I'm not marketing my YouTube channel at all. It's just there. What I use it for, I go down a couple levels into my YouTube studio, and then everything. I do a lot of productions in my YouTube studio. Uh, on my way to my YouTube studio, I have to go into the YouTube homepage, and some of that page is customized to me. They think they know what I want to see. They really don't know what I don't use YouTube a lot as a place to view. I don't watch a lot of if they can present it to me uh, in an email. I might take a shot at it, but I don't go to YouTube looking for stuff except how to stuff. As a matter of fact, I've got a how-to reason to go to YouTube right now. Hope I wrote it down. uh, Never organized my YouTube channel because there's a couple reasons why I never did. Uh, if I if everything had to go through YouTube, so to speak, to see one of my videos, then YouTube would be able to take advantage of marketing and selling. I have very little that I could do myself. There are things I could do in partnership with them, but they have control of the situation. And my attitude has always been, why not that video? Why not take it and put it on my own web landing page where I have control. I could do whatever I wanted to do with it. And so that has been my direction for the last, I would say, very strongly, I've been doing it for 5 years. So if you have, I'll say it for the, oh no, I was going to tell you what I actually have going on right now. My raison d'etre is about celebrating business. You've heard me use the expression a couple times. Uh, Everything, I've developed a community of web landing pages, and I want to share those communities with you right now, real briefly, and they might be of interest to you. CelebrateBusiness.tv will be uh, one of two formats. It will either be a 19-minute Celebrate Business conversation with me. It'll be 19 minutes and that'll get posted, or there will be special features that will not necessarily 19 minutes in length. Uh, that will that happens at celebratebusiness.tv. Uh, I only have been developing that web landing page for uh, less than 5 months. I probably bought the domain name 5 months ago. So, what's the best way to celebrate business? I made it. Well, I was going to test. I was going to test my decision whether or not it made any difference if I tried to start locally and fan out, or just because business is celebrated everywhere. Theoretically, there are 40, I've seen the figure, I don't know how accurate, I really have always questioned the accuracy of the number, but the Small Business Administration says there are plus or minus 40 million small businesses. And of course, you have to see how they define small business. They define one way for uh, getting a small business loan, and it's a form. But if you cannot find the information that you're looking for at sba.gov, it's a wonderful database of information about small business. At one time, I know for a fact they had 4,000 pages of information. So I don't think there are too many sources where you can get better information than that. I don't necessarily agree. As a matter of fact, I heard a presentation uh, by uh, two folks who were in marketing, and one was in marketing, one was in sales. As a matter of fact, I'm a marketing salesperson. It's old school thought to be marketing and sales. That's old school. If a business is not marketing sales driven, not marketing sales driven, it's going to be a tough struggle. Decisions have to be made in both those areas. And it's binary, just like computers. If this happens, is this the expected result? It's pretty simple. Uh, keep things as simple as possible. And also, I used to say this at the end of the show: do what you love, and you'll love what you do. Very, very important life lesson. As I was developing the concept in 4 counties in Ohio, uh, defined by the Cincinnati USA Regional Chamber, 4 counties. They have 4 Ohio counties in their marketing area. All of my marketing sales efforts so far have basically been in those 4 counties. Well, actually, one county. The county that I live in is from a business demographic is one, maybe the most unique county uh, in the United States of America for all the things that are home. 8 Fortune 100 companies home based in downtown Cincinnati, well, or maybe suburbs. So in the development, I tested. Well, I have been testing. I just had to put a name to it, a brand to it, and establish how much it was going to cost. I created Celebrate Cincinnati. Celebrate Cincinnati. Let's celebrate Cincinnati. Celebrate the Cincinnati Bengals, one of the 8 best teams in the NFL, going in tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. Digressing for a moment, as I like to do, it's amazing what the Cincinnati Bengals have done for this community. Uh, the community, uh, well, the Bengals originally made an unbelievable deal. Uh, I'm not even, I don't remember how many years ago, that on a new stadium, they were guaranteed a profit every year, no matter what the record of the Bengals was. So they didn't have to spend any money if they didn't want to develop the talent. And people in Cincinnati, it was a losing football town, but the folks didn't want to totally leave the Bengals. Well, all of a sudden, Joe comes on the scene, and it's crazy how much energy and exposure and excitement is going on. There's a development area in downtown Cincinnati called the Banks. It's probably, I don't think it's 10 years old yet, but it took way over 10 years to make it happen. But it's a wonderful place now, right on the river. The football stadium is walking distance to the baseball park. I mean, it's a wonderful downtown on the beautiful Ohio River as you watch the barges go up and down the river, carrying their million pounds of freight. Sometimes you even saw my friend Brewster Rhodes in his kayak behind the barges going down the river. Brewster, if you happen to be seeing this, hello, how you doing? Brewster no longer lives in Cincinnati, but he did a wonderful. Well, everything he does is good. He's a great photographer. He uh, he organized an event on the Ohio River, and they literally closed the river off, uh, pretty close to a 10-mile stretch. And two times I did it. It was a 6.2 kayak starting at the amusement park, Coney Island, and then down to uh, uh, center of the city. And Brewster coordinated that whole thing. It's a fundraiser, and lots of money was raised, and we had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun on the Ohio River. But don't eat any of the fish you pull out of the Ohio River. Okay, so I came up with a cybermercial idea. It's 3 videos on a page. They all have a very direct purpose. Video 1 is a conversation about business, kind of conceptual conversation about business between myself and whatever company, individual, organization. There's applications all over the place. That's video 1, would be that conversation. Video 2, um, I will ask questions of the company, and they will spend most of the time uh, answering the question. There would be very little input from me from a content standpoint. I will provide the transitions from one question to the next. And then the third one is something that I personally have always wanted to do is I've over the years, based upon what I call a triage of videos 1 and videos 2, I will create an endorsement of the company, the organization, the individual, based upon they're doing the right things and they've been doing them for long enough. And this is why you should do business with them, because they will bring value to you. And I'll pull that value out, state that value, in the third video. What is the value? Why? So that's a cyber immersion. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do it uh, in the early 90s, we've all seen infomercials on television, the half hour sharing of information, uh, sales pitch, all happening in a half hour. I still watch infomercials for how they are done, occasionally for why they are done. I have bought from infomercials. I made a great buy on an infomercial a couple years ago. It's a baby boomer recumbent, not recumbent, baby boomer exercise stationary vehicle. Uh, at one time in my life, I was actually a certified indoor cycling instructor, and so I was quick to buy something like that. But I had to watch the infomercial 6 times before I bought, and it was one of the best personal investments I've ever made. It only cost about it was under $300, so perfectly priced for a baby boomer senior citizen. Senior citizen. Why did I say that? I haven't heard that expression for a long time. You do know that the definition of a baby boomer is someone who was born after 1946 and before 1964. So those, did I say that right? After 1946, yes, and before 1964. I was born the third year into baby boomerism. So I was involved with infomercials. I was involved with a couple infomercials in 19. I think the first one I did got involved in was 1991, 92. For sure, not later than 92. Just a couple of men. My involvement there was not producing the infomercial. It was providing the customer care for all the infomercials had 800 numbers, and it was my job description to create a customer care environment where the call was efficiently handled and an order was taken. And what's the best way to speak to the customer? It's a little bit different. Well, if the customer is placing an order, they want to place the order as quickly as possible. I mean, if they're calling you to place the order, they want to do it as quickly as possible. They don't want to be they don't want to have an upsell. I That's one reason why I don't call to place orders anymore. If I really want something, I go to the website of that infomercial and buy it that way. I don't want to go through. Well, the website is bad enough and trying to sell me more stuff. I want what I want. Don't go trying to sell me something I don't want. You got to take a shot at it, I guess. Okay, so that is a product. But then I realized that there are businesses that don't have a $2,500 budget for sure. There's a marketing and sales budget, investment, and so I've created a 2 video web landing page, which is the same first 2 videos. It does not have my endorsement as the third video. It's 2 videos. Uh, we'll accomplish the same goals and objectives in those. And then for individuals, and I know there's millions of individuals, uh, I have created a 1 video web landing page, and it's just a conversation between myself and them. And in that conversation, I will help them to bring out, to really understand what their brand is, what they do, and what value do they bring to the marketplace. That will be the purpose of that one video, is to talk about the business, and what service do you deliver, what value can be brought to the business. So to best outline and understand and detail those, the concept that I just said to you, I created a web landing page, solopreneur.services, another member of the family. And the fourth one uh, that I created it's a fun one. It's called Celebrate Business Expert. And anybody that has a Celebrate Business conversation with me, um, I hope to ask the right question myself, to make them an expert. And then that video will also go into Celebrate Business Expert, which is, I call it an archive digital library. You folks will go to the library and see what's available and pick up that video, and that will be the purpose there. So there's already that page already exists. There are a couple. There are, I think there might be a half a dozen videos on that page. I don't remember. Too many pages going. So that's the community of web landing pages. The way that we tell the folks about the community is Facebook Live, uh, which is also, if I decide to go continue on, well, I definitely will use Facebook Live. Uh, there's no question I will continue to use it. It's how I will continue to use it, is what I need to put some thought to. Uh, let's say I think that's, tell myself self. I need to make notes so I make sure I cover all the points that need to be covered. I think I have. Oh, Tina Munson. Hello, Tina Munson. You are the first and only person to put a comment. Thank you, Tina. She said good, but I wasn't watching when it came in, so I don't know what's good. Or maybe Tina wants me off. Oh, Tina. I don't. It's interesting that her last name is Munson, because I used the name Thurman Munson earlier, in the conversation today. Okay, so I well, you follow me, you'll see in my stream. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time next week communicating on Facebook, in Facebook, about Facebook, because I want the time to be focused on my children. I don't get to see them in person that often. That'll be it. And thank you for your time today. As always, I've given you a half a dozen ways to get in touch with me. The easiest, most efficient way will be to go to any one of our web land. Anytime you hear me mention one of our community web landing pages, there will be a contact me form at the bottom of that page. Very clear. They're very simple pages. I am a big proponent of keeping things as simple as possible. The more options you give an individual, the more opportunity is created for them to not be focused on what you would like them to be focus upon. So if you keep it singular in nature or binary in nature, you that's the way it needs to be done. So that's it. Thank you. And we will. Uh, I used to end all of my production. I haven't done it for a while. Uh, when I was in the publishing business over 50 years ago, I had an individual who was he wrote for me. He wrote sports for me um, because he was the best sports writer in our community. Uh, but he was also on radio and he was also on television. And I bought stories from him every month. And his name was Jaime Williams. And Jaime used to say, "I'll see you the next time, which may very well be the best time. See you then. Have a wonderful, make it a wonderful, enjoyable, fun day." And shit. Right.